Hello, and welcome to this review of The Scandalous Gentleman of St. James historical romance book series by Lorraine Heath. I'm Olivia, your favorite resource for book recommendations you can easily screenshot. You're watching Random Olive Reads. When the Duke Was Wicked is book one of the series. A Duke's daughter, Grace, is looking to make a love match this season and doesn't want to be misled by slimy, creepy guys who just want her dowry. She recruits her childhood friend and former crush and now debauched widower, the Duke of Lovingdon, to help assess her suitors. He immediately says no because he's not interested in re entering society, but then he feels protective and somewhat attracted to Grace, so he goes along with it. He knows that he's still heartbroken after the loss of his wife and daughter, so he has no interest in getting married again, but then he doesn't want to start an affair with Grace. Of course, his resistance only lasts for so long because he's trying to teach her lessons about false promises and words of seduction. Once More, My Darling Rogue is book two of the series. Lady Ophelia is basically the most annoying, snootiest debutante around, and she's always disparaging Drake, who is common born but was raised by a duke. When she washes up ashore the Thames with no recollection of her memory, Drake decides to play a trick on her and lie and say that she's the housekeeper. He feels bad about it and he's going to tell her the truth soon, except that then she says something snotty and snobby, so then he gets mad again and keeps up the ruse. And of course, now that she doesn't know who she is, she's actually a much nicer person, and Drake starts to fall in love with her. We're basically just watching them grow closer together and watching Drake feel terribly guilty. There's this underlying mystery of how she ended up in the river in the first place. So, this book is full of emotional angst while we wait for Drake to get in trouble for all of his sins. The Duke and the Lady in Red is book three of this series. We have Rose, who is a swindler and who has set her sights on the Duke of Avondale to fleece for money. And then he catches her. And so he forces her to spend a week with him at his house as his mistress, and he's trying really hard to not fall in love with her because he knows that she tried to take advantage of him. And then we start to unravel all of Rose's secrets and her background and her family, and the Duke is surprisingly really caring and sweet and kind about all of it. So this book had so many twists and turns, and I really enjoyed this one. An Affair with a Notorious Heiress is book four of the series. The Marquess of Rexton has been sort of bargained with to court a young American heiress, Gina, and then he gets distracted by her older sister instead. The older sister, Tilly, is a divorced countess who caused a whole lot of scandal when she was caught kissing a footman. So she's basically exiled from society, and so the younger sister needs some help with getting suitable suitors, which is where the Marquess comes in. He is courting her and making her feel adored and things like that, but he is super distracted by Tilly instead. Of course, he's not willing to actually marry Tilly because he needs an upstanding wife with a pristine reputation because of what he went through growing up. And since he's going to be a duke someday, he wants to keep his reputation spotless. He pretty much needs to get over himself and just follow through with actually falling in love with Tilly. Gentlemen Prefer Heiresses is book 4.5 of the series. We pick up immediately after book 4 at the wedding of Rexton and Tilly. This is where his younger brother Andrew and her younger sister Gina have this like burning flirtation going on. There's a quick little eavesdropping misunderstanding, and then they're off on some nighttime adventures. And they believe that they're ill suited for each other because Andrew says he'll never get married, and Gina says she wants a titled lord, but they work that out pretty quickly. This one is a quick novella that was full of flirtation and steam. A Tempest of Desire is book 5 of the series. Viscount Langdon has isolated himself on an island after a train accident leaves him with some nightmares, and then one night the storm washes up Marlowe, the most beautiful and desirable courtesan in London. He rescues her and learns that she was flying her hot air balloon alone and got caught in a storm. Now, these two have been lusting after each other since first sight, but Marlowe is under the protection of a different lord and is very loyal. Langdon also doesn't want to encroach on someone else's territory, so he has tried very hard to stay away from Marlowe. But now they're stuck together and getting to know each other's thoughts and personalities, making their connection all the stronger. This book is full of seductive flirting and yearning and longing. So, this series involves the second generation of characters that are the offspring of the Scoundrels of St. James series. We get a tight knit group of friends here based on their parents' relationships, but each book reads pretty well as a standalone. There's lots of drama and emotional angst, as expected with Lorraine Heath, and I loved all of the unexpected twists and turns. It's interesting to note that the publication dates for the series jumps around a bit. The first three books go pretty well in sequence, published in 2014 and 2015. Then there's a little bit of a gap, and then we come back to books 4 and 4.5 in 2017. Book 5 is published at the end of 2024. And at the time of this recording, Heath has stated on social media that her next book will be book 6 of the series, coming out sometime in 2025. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you found a book or two to add to your TBR. Links to all of these books are in the description box. Like and subscribe to get updates, and you can follow me on Instagram at randomolive.